Good evening viewers, you're watching Millennium Star Show, and today we have a special guest with us, and this is a person, his name is Don D. Don Dave. Don Dave came from an ordinary background and rose into the prominence through real estate, and allegedly his money has come from smuggling and extortion. And many cases filed against him for murder but never found guilty, and has family and relatives but no much is known. Known to settle disputes among businessmen, and claims to have support of the common man, a Robin Hood image, and connections with firemen and politicians, and penchant for art and wine, not religious. And it's my pleasure to welcome our guest tonight, Don D. Mr. Don D, can I call you Don D?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Don D, the first question the viewers would like to know about you is can you please tell something about your childhood? You know, how you raised into this Don D?
I had a very normal childhood, just like you and probably everybody else. It wasn't any different. Born into an ordinary family, to ordinary parents who loved me. I had a sister, and we did a very normal life. So childhood was nothing special.
So you mean to say that you were an ordinary child in the beginning, and then you rose into this Don D?
I had an ordinary childhood in a very tough neighborhood. So the tough neighborhood might have influenced me to become what I am now. But otherwise, I had a very ordinary family upbringing.
Okay, and can I ask you, what are the major challenges you faced in your childhood?
The major challenge, I think, was dealing with the daily life on a daily basis. Reaching school unhurt from my house was one of the challenges. Making sure the food that I was given went into my stomach was a challenge. Making sure I don't get hit and get back home without a black eye was a challenge. There were n number of challenges.
Seems like you are from a Mexican city, or?
I come from the Mexico of India called Mumbai.
And I would like to know, in fact the viewers would like to know something about that D company, because that's one made you famous. So can you tell something about that D company?
I would say a lot of adjectives that would fit the letter D. D, of course, it stands for D, as in Dave, which is my name. It stands for daring. It stands for dandy.
Stands for dashing.
Well, if you insist. So if you can think of any such word which means the same. And of course, it also stands for the dreadful society we all live in. I really didn't have much thinking behind it. So most of the time the public, they make their own conclusions. And I've got no problem with that.
Okay. And this is normal to all that big dons. You know, media and these movies, they have created a hero image to all the dons. So what I understand is that you are on the top list of many of the actresses, top actresses in Bollywood. And viewers would obviously like to know, do you have any connection with any of these Bollywood actresses?
I am a lover of art, but I'm not the lover of the artists. The common public, they see me as a person who's in close touch with art. That's purely because of my love towards art, and I adore and worship to a point where I'm jealous of the artists. So that constant proximity sometimes makes people believe that I've got to do something. But all my such relations are strictly on a professional level, and art, I believe, is for art's sake, and never had any instance when anyone with whom I have interacted with in terms of art has ever told me that they love me, apart from the way anybody else would tell me that same word. So such accusations, all I have to say is, well, that would always be there. But I know what they've been doing. I know that I would never will have to face a consequence based on these sort of allegations.
Okay. But what I recently read from a magazine is that you are, pumping some money on some particular actresses for some particular movies, like 5 or 6 movies, even though it is a it's not a good response in the market. You have any comment on it? A particular actress, I'm not naming that actress.
Let me put it this way. If you have a good artist who will give you value for money, who would definitely create art as what you would like to see, would you be foolish enough to spend your hard-earned money on somebody who's there just because the father is an actor, mother is a producer, uncle is a director? I would invest money in an artist who I like because that artist is good. And if you have seen me investing constantly in one artist, it's because not the artist is a good looker, it's because the artist knows his or her own business.
Okay, can I ask you a question? Have you ever regretted about your life being a Don, an international Don?
I would like to rephrase that. I wouldn't call it regret. I would call it disappointment. But I think that's just human tendency. We all have disappointments, and I've had a lot of disappointments in my life. But if you lead a life full of disappointments, you don't call it life anymore. You shake out of those disappointments and you proceed in life, and that's all about it. There's no time for regret in D company.
I agree with you, Don. And the final question, because we don't have much time. What if I say, and actually that's what happened, the whole interview is just a drama, and this is arranged by FBI and Interpol, and they are waiting outside just to take you. What would be your final advice to viewers?
Just like I said, I've got no regrets about yesterday. I've got no botherations about tomorrow. I live in the present. If tomorrow, if the FBI is going to get smarter, let it be. The D company shall survive.
Thank you so much, Don D. Viewers, keep it in mind. Arresting Don D is not difficult, but impossible. Stay in touch.